A young construction worker signaled a man in expensive suit to stop at the site entrance and said, "Excuse me, sir. You cannot enter the construction zone without a hard hat and a safety vest." The man in the suit laughed and replied, "I think you don't know who I am. Actually, I am the owner of this entire development project." The worker hesitated for a moment, but stood his ground and said, "No, sir. I still need you to wear the protective gear. Falling debris doesn't care who signs the paychecks. I can't just let anyone risk their safety on my watch." The owner paused, looking annoyed, but then smiled and put on the gear handed to him. "Sorry, son, but actually, I was testing you." "Good job," he said sincerely. The worker nodded respectfully and opened the gate. Just then, an elderly woman walking on the sidewalk outside the fence tripped on a crack and dropped her heavy grocery bags. The worker immediately rushed out. "Oh, ma'am, please be careful," he said politely, helping her stand up. He noticed her hands were shaking. "Here, let me carry these to the bus stop for you," he insisted. The elderly woman smiled gratefully as he secured her bags and walked her to the bench. The owner, watching from the scaffolding nearby, was clearly impressed by the worker's kind behavior and attention to others. Later in the site office, the project manager entered and said, "Good afternoon, sir. Here are the blueprints you asked for." The owner nodded and asked, "Is that young man at the gate new?" "He seems different." The manager replied, "Yes, sir. He joined just last week." The owner asked thoughtfully, "Do you know anything about him?" "I noticed he works very diligently and has a good heart." The manager sighed and said, "Wait, yes, sir. It is actually a very sad story. A few years ago, he was a successful structural engineer with his own firm. Unfortunately, his daughter was diagnosed with a rare illness that insurance wouldn't cover. He sold his company, his house, and used all his savings for her treatment. He lost everything. That's why he is working here as a laborer just to put food on the table." The owner nodded slowly and said, "All right, please call him to my office immediately." A moment later, the worker entered nervously, clutching his helmet. "Sorry, sir. I really didn't mean to offend you at the gate," he said humbly. "It's all right. Please have a seat," the owner replied warmly. "The reason I called you here is because I'm genuinely interested in your future. I looked into your file and was surprised that you have master's level engineering qualifications, and then life hit you hard." The worker looked down. "Yes, sir. I just do what I have to do for my family," he said quietly. The owner smiled kindly and said, "No, you don't belong at the gate. Our company needs someone with your integrity and expertise. We want to promote you to head safety engineer starting today, with full medical benefits for your family." The worker's eyes filled with tears of happiness as he realized his life had just changed.